Netflix's One Piece live action will surpass and is surpassing all expectations.
Oh, that caught my attention.
Yes, that includes yours. And despite the drama floating around on Twitter that, quote, One Piece tested horribly, a major deviation from the source material, and the tone of the show isn't really working, which to many may not come as a surprise, since it's no secret the live-action anime has failed terribly in the past. We have literal atrocities from Netflix.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball and Death Note and
such as the Death Note 2017 adaptation, Cowboy Bebop, which was canceled after only one season.
I think Cowboy Bebop started okay, and the characters were casted well. The only bad thing was Vicious and the ending and a lot of other stuff.
Then the live-action Dragon Ball, which is probably the best movie in cinema history. Just
Nani?
kidding, let's exist. And ironically, Tomorrow Studios, the crew that made Cowboy Bebop's live-action, are
Dude, I have faith in the One Piece. Oda's involved. They have a huge fucking budget. I hear he was super picky about the casting. Like, stupidly picky about the casting.
Same ones working on One Piece. So why would One Piece be any different? After all, the live-action crew has a lot to live up to. Any misstep or stray too far from the source material, which brought countless amazing memories to us for over 25 years now. So of course, it makes perfect sense to be concerned, especially when it comes to Luffy's stretchy fighting style and how it would translate to live action. And then we have
I think if the budget is big enough, the CGI should be fine.
Luffy is wearing shoes.
Not the shoes! One Piece is all about freedom for those toes to breathe.
Sandals in the anime. This is absolutely unacceptable. I'll have you know, my father is literally none of this matters because the man himself, Ichiro Oda, is heavily involved in the creation process. Himself, the Netflix crew, and the cast are passionately working together with one of the highest budgets any live-action anime has ever worked with. But that's not even the best thing to be excited about because One Piece has something a little magical, making it nearly immune to failing. I'll get into specifics later.
Okay, immune to failing is pretty tough, bro.
In the video, but for now, just give me your time, and
I think that's a stretch. Gumu Gumu no.
Watching, tell
cap.
me if your mind has changed.
I think it's a stretch. Gumu Gumu no cap.
Or not. And I promise you, your mind will change. But first, allow me to debunk all of your concerns and the drama brewing on Twitter, and then we'll get into everything you should be excited about. So drop a like and do hit subscribe so I can.
Oh my god. Apparently some stunts required shoes, so sandals were not safe. I think that's just Netflix's policy, from what I heard. I literally heard it from someone who heard it from literally, like, the director of the live action. It's just Netflix's policy for proper shoe wear to be worn.
Can reach my goal
in any type of action type things that involve some type of stunts, and it's just for safety purposes. And at the end of the day, while it is a change of his character, his outfit, whatever, it's not the end of the world. We love the characters. It has hype moments. That's what One Piece is all about. It's all about the journey, the world, the moments, the characters being lovable, and just feeling like you're part of the crew.
Of surpassing the official One Piece YouTube channel with 1.88 million subscribers. That means I only need a 1.86 million more subscribers. We are extremely close. And now let's talk about the drama. Perhaps the largest thing
subscribe and like to my gracious. If I read that correctly, probably not.
Concerning fans is how seemingly every other live-action anime has failed terribly before in the past. But that's just simply not the case. There are some amazing adaptations of popular anime that...
Dude, I've heard good things about Rurouni Kenshin. I've never watched the live actions, but I kind of want to. Maybe we'll do it live on Kick. Link below. Pointed the wrong direction a million
already
times.
Out there, like for example Rurouni Kenshin. At first it was a manga and then an anime released in 1996, which then was followed by 5 renditions of live action.
Damn.
With the most recent one getting 4.8 stars just in 2021.
Is it on Netflix?
In fact, it was so successful that the anime is getting a renewal this
year. I actually watched the anime for Rurouni Kenshin, so that's exciting.
2023. Another good example of a live action would be Death Note. Wait, wrong one. There we go. If you didn't already know, Death Note also had live actions produced and released in Japan that had amazing reviews. So as you can see, despite the popular belief that live action
sometimes how dramatic Death Note was, when you see real people do it, it's kind of cringe.
Never works. That's simply not the case. That alone is not a reason to...
So I think that's one thing that I'm worried about for One Piece, because One Piece has a lot of really goofy, stupid moments. There's a lot of characters that are super goofy, and I think it needs to be captured well, especially for someone like Luffy. And there's a lot of tonal shifts where like badass serious moment to funny moment to badass serious moment, you know? So I hope they're able to capture that well without it just seeming cringe.
Dismiss the One Piece live action. However, if
And I've heard things about like Sanji's character being like more of a gentleman, maybe a little bit more serious, and they're getting rid of some of the simp type stuff, where it's kind of goofy comedy, which I get, and I think it's okay for Sanji, but it can't be. I just hope the entire show isn't serious pirates. A lot of it's goofing around and having fun, and that's what we love about it.
Said in this tweet right here is in fact true, that could be a reason to dismiss the show. But fortunately for us, this tweet is major cap and there's nothing to be worried about. So let's talk about what this tweet says and why it doesn't matter. The tweet starts by saying One Piece tested horribly with non-fans, which doesn't matter because they're not fans. And then it goes on to say this. In the first episode, the first half is completely all flashbacks and features of young Luffy before we jump to the present and rush through the introductions to Zoro, Nami, Usopp, and Sanji, all within the remaining 15 minutes, a major deviation from the...
Is this real? Or is this what you said was fake?
I want you to keep in mind that the very first chapter of One Piece was indeed a flashback.
So maybe it's more they stuck to the manga more than the anime. I think that's a good call, to be honest. I don't think the whole episode should have been the flashback. But I don't know. How would I do it? I feel like they should have started maybe with episode 1 of One Piece, like Luffy like on the ship or whatever, or heading towards where Zoro was captured. Let's say he met Kobe. They do a brief introduction with Kobe. They're heading to Zoro. Luffy's talking to Kobe, and he tells him this backstory here, or they tell this backstory after they get Zoro to join, or they jump back and forth. Might be a smart way. I think 45 minutes straight of young Luffy maybe isn't the best call. But then again, Shanks and the backstory is good. So I lied. I don't know. It could be good.
It's already not a major deviation.
But it's just absolutely introducing everybody right away is kind of crazy. I do want the focus to be on Baratie, on Arlong Park for sure. So rushing the introductions isn't terrible. We all already know, like, us fans know the characters so well and their backstories. I'm talking about, like, Usopp, Zoro, Nami, Sanji, etc. But then again, like, this could go mainstream. Like, we want this to surpass just the One Piece audience. In which case, I feel like they shouldn't rush it. But at the same time, Orangetown and Syrup Village aren't the best, so I wouldn't want those to be spent too much time on. So I think it's tough. But trying to find a balance of, like, backstory, cool introduction of Zoro, introducing Nami and Sanji and Usopp properly, without maybe rushing it a little bit, but we should still get their backstories. That's tough. It's really tough.
From the source material. So more than likely, this is just a way to introduce the faces of the cast within the first episode. In the following episodes, I would imagine they go more into depth for each character's backstory, because keep in mind, they built an entire set for the Baratie. So do you really think they're gonna build all that and then blow through Sanji's backstory in 5 minutes?
Doubt.
But we also shouldn't be surprised if each character doesn't have their own episode dedicated to developing their backstory.
I think that's a good thing. I don't think we should get a whole episode for Zoro, a whole episode for Nami, a whole episode for Usopp, a whole episode for Sanji. Maybe a whole episode for or episode or 2 for Baratie, you know, which would include his backstory. Assuming the episodes are an hour long. Yeah, I wouldn't want that either. I think it'd be a little bit too slow, and I think we need to get into if we only have 10 episodes, you want 4 to be on Arlong Park, and you want like 2 or 3 to be on Baratie. That puts us at 7, meaning you have 3 episodes to introduce the characters and give us backstories and start it up. I think that'd be a good percentage.
Because that would be a complete waste of time. One Piece has been out for over 25 years.
Or even 3 Arlong Park, 3 Baratie, 4 to introduce the characters. I think
so
we've
already seen these backstories plenty of times. In fact, this was the exact reasoning Spider-Man Homecoming did not include Peter Parker's backstory. Fans already saw Peter Parker get bit by a spider and then become Spider-Man in 2 separate movies. So even if Netflix decides to speed through all of the character introductions, we already know who they are, and that doesn't take away from the live action. The tweet also goes on
I don't like that point. I feel like you can't assume everyone's seen One Piece and is a huge One Piece fan. While those are the majority of those people are going to be the ones watching it, I still think you need to do the characters justice. and keep it as its own separate source material while following the original.
For the tone of the show, it's not really working. The makeup / look of some of the cast look off, and the show jumps between being over the top goofy to being serious and is jarring and inconsistent.
I feel like that's kind of just One Piece, brother.
Anyone who has seen any amount of One Piece, you would know that the show goes from goofy to serious very fast.
Yeah.
Just like in Amazon Lily, when Luffy was running around all goofy at the top of the castle to falling into Boa Hancock's bath and learning about her past with slavery. As for the makeup, let's be honest with ourselves. One Piece characters are some of the goofiest looking characters in all of anime. If you weren't already convinced that this tweet is garbage, just a few days after it was tweeted, Greg Werner, an official collaborator, confirmed, quote, "The test audience article that you don't need to read, click, or share is entirely untrue." Now that we debunked that tweet, it's time to go over some of the smaller concerns addressing the live action, such as the shoes, which technically is a deviation
Who
from
fucking cares at the end of the day?
source. However, this is the real world.
I think the biggest thing is just like, if they are going to change that, what else are they going to change?
It is much safer to do stunts in shoes than sandals, so you would have to either
But that's completely understandable.
pick between weak stunts or him wearing shoes. Personally, I would much rather him wear shoes and have cool stunts, but I mean, it's up to you if you want shoes to be the reason you're not going to watch a show. But then there's also some people who are a little bit worried about the way Luffy is going to look when he stretches his arms, which is a much more valid concern to be worried about the show than the shoes. But it still doesn't matter, because like I said at the beginning of the video, One Piece has something a little magical that prevents any of this from ruining the show. In order for me to explain it and have you fully understand, first I need to tell you
I think the big thing is, even if it's not directly one-to-one, even if they skip a lot, even if a lot of things seem a little different and not like, the big thing is, are they able to capture the essence of the characters and of One Piece?
what you should be excited for when it comes to the One Piece live action, starting with the amazing cast. Oda was incredibly picky with who he decided to become the Straw Hats. I mean, he considered everything.
Yeah,
Here's
I heard
what he had to
this.
say upon announcing the cast. Their face, the size of their mouths and hands, their aura, the way they carry themselves, their voice, their acting skills, their height, the balance amongst the Straw Hat crew, and more.
Like, he was like apparently very, very picky about like the people that represented the characters, which I think is good, because that's, again, trying to capture the essence of the characters. A lot of it's gonna be personality and the actual acting, but it does go towards aesthetics as well.
So, if you were wondering if Iñaki Godoy is going to make a good Luffy, yes, no one else in the world would make a better Luffy. Not only does he make a great fit, I mean, just look at him. That is Luffy. But there is every reason to be confident
I think he's a good
in him
fit.
as not only Luffy, but as an actor. He's already worked with Netflix just last year on Imperfect, and I gotta say, after watching, my confidence has grown in him tremendously. He dressed up as a minion to go watch Minions with the rest of the cast. This encapsulates Luffy perfectly. He's such a goofball. I love it. But not only is he intrinsically like Luffy, he also has so much passion for becoming this character that we all love. And he also understands One Piece jokes. He was memeing around on Instagram that Zoro got lost and he found him. Speaking of Zoro, let's talk about his actor and why he makes a great fit. Zoro is being played by Makenyu, which, according to Google, his name roughly translates to True Sword Savior. But what's even cooler is Makenyu has already played a swordsman in a live-action anime, and it's the same one I talked about earlier in the video, Rurouni Kenshin. For Nami, she is being played by
That's a sick choice.
Emily Rudd, who was not only a fan of One Piece, but Nami before the live action was ever announced. So she's not lying on her Instagram when she says this is her dream role.
That's
and
so
as a fan
cool.
of the series, you should expect that she also gets One Piece jokes. Look at this video she took of Iñaki Godoy, Luffy's actor. Ah yes, Nami, the only character in all of One Piece that is able to threaten Luffy, and Luffy's just enjoying food. Usopp is being played by Jacob Romero Gibson. I have a lot of faith in this man, especially after he wore this bucket hat looking exactly like...
This guy actually DM'd me. I'm assuming it was him, because the guy, I gotta go back and check. I actually never ended up responding because I'm an idiot, and then I felt bad because it was so long went by. But I should look back if it was actually him, because the guy who DM'd me said he was playing One Piece in the live action.
Usopp. But not only that, he went on to Instagram to say that is one of the greatest honors in my life to bring breath to Usopp. Clearly, he has a lot of passion, and I think it's safe to say that this whole cast is in great hands. Or legs. Did I mention Sanji? Because Sanji is being played by an actual real-life Sanji. That's right, Todd Schuyler is putting immense amount of work into learning Sanji's character, including martial arts and the countless hours he spent practicing bartending tricks. I mean, how cool is that?
Who's gonna play Sniper King? That's true. Soga King. It's Jacob Gibson, right? Let me look up Jacob Gibson. I want to see if this is real. Give me 1 second, guys. We will not be getting to so that's true. That's way later on. Oh my god, I got so many fucking DMs here. It just goes on forever. He doesn't have his messages open. And he just sent me a message request a long time ago. Assuming that was him. Like the problem is this has been a thing since 2016. But I feel like he wasn't selected until like 2020, 2021. Maybe I just look at it another time. Look for it another time. There's literally like, I have over 1,000 DMs on Twitter. Just over the years, you know? So many bots as well. What year do we think this would be? Can I search through message requests? Go on desktop and control F? We could do that. Like, how much do I have to scroll through this bullshit? Well, I can just keep on clicking the bottom button. There we go. Ah, who cares? These are just message requests anyway. I haven't replied to any of these people. Okay, we're into 2019 now. It would have had to have passed by now. What am I control Fing? Control F. Jacob. Nope. Usopp. Let me find the guy's name real quick. I swear his name is like Book of something. Nope. So maybe it wasn't him. I remember reading something and he had the guy's picture or a picture of Usopp. Anyway. Oh? That's a different Jacob for sure. If this does well, Chris Pratt is going to play Whitebeard. Is this him? 27,000 followers, so I feel like it's probably him. Jacob Romero Gibson. So maybe it was a fake guy. Or maybe he deleted it. Alright, this is a big sidetrack. Whoops. Anyway, I'll maybe look another time for a new SOP PFP. Let's go back to this.
And on top of it, Sanji's actor has already worked with the actor who will be playing Zeph on not one, but 2 projects, with each of them being a father-son dynamic. Oh yeah, and also Craig Fairbrass, the actor playing Zeph, was also Ghost's voice actor in Modern Warfare 2. Clearly, not only is the main cast extremely passionate about playing their respective roles, which you might be wondering how we can afford such fantastic actors. And the answer is the budget. The budget is really big. Of course, the budget means nothing if the studio working on it wastes it, right? And if the studio is the same one who worked on Cowboy Bebop, doesn't that mean One Piece is doomed to fail? No, actually, quite the opposite. I want you to keep in mind that while Cowboy Bebop was canceled after a single season, the reviews were not overwhelmingly negative. It nearly had 4 stars on Google. Compare that to the 1.8 stars Death Note 2017 got, and all of a sudden, Cowboy Bebop looks like it deserves a Grammy. So why did it get canceled after only 1 season? Well, the answer can be broken down into 2 main reasons. The first reason was because it wasn't faithful to the original source material, and the second reason,
let me guess, money,
was because of the budget. Each of these reasons are highlighted by Ted Biaselli, a Netflix executive, in this article by Screen Rant. He stated that he also wanted to avoid doing a shot-for-shot adaptation, something that the live-action Cowboy Bebop series was slightly maligned for, or simply taking the franchise and ignoring the core themes of the series. Knowing Oda is significantly involved with the series should ease fans' concerns about the adaptation. Past reports have indicated that Netflix aims to avoid another disappointment like Cowboy Bebop. Thus, they are working hard to ensure a hit, such as giving the series a larger budget than its other shows. Yet despite the budget and the fact that they were not faithful to the source, Tomorrow Studios managed to put together a 4-star show. I think it's safe to say
I think 3.9 is fair.
Comes to them creating One Piece weren't good.
I lied. What's 3.9 out of 10? 7.8? It's not a 7.8. Absolutely not. It's more like a 6.9.
And there's only room to go up. Since of course we won't have to worry about Oda publicly
criticizing that ending was pretty bad. 6.4.
The live action.
And Vicious was ruined.
Like how Cowboy Bebop's creator did for not being faithful to the source. Since of course Oda is literally the source and he is working on the project himself. This means that the One Piece live action has massive potential, since nobody else in the entire world knows what makes One Piece truly great better than Oda. And what makes One Piece truly great is the same magical reason I mentioned earlier in the video. Regardless if the fighting style is good or goofy or bad, or if Luffy's wearing shoes, it can never take away from the fact that One Piece is a story about world building and adventure. If you told me that you watch One Piece for the fights and animations, you would be lying to yourself, because nobody watches One Piece for the animation.
It's true. One Piece is all about the characters being lovable and funny and amazing. It's all about the adventure. It's all about the funny and badass moments. Not so much the fights themselves, but the moments within the fights, the emotional moments, the emotional backstories. There's so much that is good about One Piece, and most of it's not even just like, oh, action, fighting, that was a cool fight, you know?
Only reason someone would watch 1,000+ episodes of One Piece is because of the world building and character development.
The world building truly is fantastic.
No other series out there is this detailed when it comes to each character and even the side characters and cast, leading to one of the most amazing pieces of media in history, keeping you on the edge of your seat following the adventures of Monkey D. Luffy, meeting his friends, going exciting places, and learning what the world has to offer, along with each character's dark, intense backstory and the themes that surround it. and the morality is even questioned as the protagonists are portrayed as pirates. I think these are themes that the live action can do an excellent job in portraying and give us a new way to look at the darker tones of One Piece, so let me know down in the comments below if your expectations have changed. And if you'd like to know more about the complex morality in One Piece, check out my video on why Luffy is not a hero. So yeah, bye.
Yo, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe for more. I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's upload, and feel free to come hang out on stream. Would love to see you there. Boy.